The Samsung Galaxy S10e should not be compared to the iPhone XR. Let's go ahead and get into it. Yo, what's going on YouTube? Technically T, and I know you probably sick and tired of seeing me talk about Samsung Galaxy stuff. Yeah, you know, I am running in the dirt, but the thing about it is, man, you guys are so active in my comment section of the past previous videos, and me going through trying to reply to a lot of comments. You got your haters, you got the people that agree with you, and I keep stirring up topics, man. So I appreciate y'all. You are giving me these topics to talk about, but let's go ahead and get into it. So yes, the Samsung Galaxy S10e should not be compared to the iPhone XR. Now here is my reasoning behind this. So I get it, the iPhone XR starts off at $749, and as well as the S10e, the main configuration, of course that starts at $749 too. So I get it, everybody would typically think that you can compare the devices. I mean, you're seeing plenty of videos across YouTube, everybody is comparing the devices, and you don't even have them in hand yet. You can't compare them yet. We have to get them in hand. You can't talk about specs. Nobody cares about specs, man. We are talking about real world usage. Now, speaking of real world usage, take your friends, for example. You know, and I thought about this before I did this video. We all have groups of friends. We have our people who uses iPhones. You know, they're live and die by the blue bubble, by the FaceTime. You're guaranteed Apple iSheet. Then on the other hand, you have your diehard Samsung Knights. You got people who still thinks that Android is open source. They don't want to be locked into what you got going on, what Apple has. So you have both of those people playing the opposite sides of the fence. Now, don't get this mixed up with what YouTubers do. We bouncing forth between phones. Hey, I'm switching to this phone. Hey, I'm switching to that phone. But in actuality, in the real world, you have people who like iOS and you have people who like Android. Now, the reason why I'm saying they shouldn't be compared to each other is because of the reason I just stated. If you have an iPhone, now if you're watching this video and you have an iPhone XR, if you have an iPhone XR or any iPhone of that choice, would you or are you even thinking about the Samsung Galaxy S10e? And the reason I say that is because most people who owns iPhones are locked into the Apple ecosystem. They're not checking for Samsung devices, they're not checking for LG, they're not checking for OnePlus, they're not checking for these devices because they're so locked up. They have the Apple Watch, you got iMacs, you got MacBooks, you got iPads, you have all of these Apple devices, so therefore you are locked in to the Apple ecosystem. Now, if you take it for the other side, man, you have Samsung people who just love Samsung phones. I have friends who I know would not touch an iPhone no matter what comes with it, no matter what comes, no matter what feature they have. They just do not like iPhones. So therefore, you got one group of people who's always gonna get the iPhone no matter what. And then on the other side, you're gonna get people who are locked into Android who will never get an iPhone. So that's why I say that these devices shouldn't necessarily be compared to each other just because the price point is similar. You have folks that's locked in into Apple, but on the Android side, you have many different Androids. Where I feel like people really should be comparing the 10e is to devices such as the Pixel 3 or the Pixel 4 whenever it comes out, the smaller version, because that's where the price points to kind of match up. And devices such as OnePlus. I mean, you got the OnePlus 7, the 7T, whatever it's going to be called. We know these price points are going to be similar, if not cheaper. So therefore, that's the devices that you need to be comparing the S10e to, because that's gonna let Samsung know that you have direct competition within your same ecosystem. You have direct competition and you can possibly get a little bit more for less, and that kind of, you know, it may shape to where the smartphone industry is headed. We all know that the trend is phones are getting more expensive, but you also have those mid-range phones that's coming up, and they're slowly moving out of the mid-range up into the flagship category. So that's who I feel the S10e should really be compared to. The iPhone XR is in its own ballpark, it's in its own ecosystem, it has a crowd that they serve. But on the flip side, when you're talking about the Galaxy S10e, you have people who love Samsung, but they're starting to realize within the Android ecosystem, you can get more for less when it comes to the prices, man. So that's why I just said that they shouldn't be compared to each other. And I was thinking about doing the comparison. I literally just sold my iPhone XR in order to get the 10e, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna compare these two devices. I may go out and buy another XR to compare it to, but then I started thinking I can call 10 friends right now and ask them, are they interested in their diehard iOS fans? Are you interested in a Samsung Galaxy device? They couldn't even tell you what the new S device is, and that's just what I think people are missing when we're comparing the 10R to the S10e. I know it's easy to do because the price points are similar, but if you think about it, both serves their own audiences, man. So technically T, let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Man, right now it is some of the most active comment sections I have seen, but I love it. Good or bad trolls, everybody is welcome in the comment section, man. But technically T, I'm about to get up out of here. Let me know what you think down below. Like, comment, and definitely, you already know, hit that subscribe button if you rock with your boy, and I'm gonna catch you on the next one. Later.